Why, hello there. Don't worry. I'm not a clown coming to murder you. It's just me, Bridget. Okay, so all right, look, real talk here, okay? One, this is how busted I always look, okay? You're just getting to see the real me. Two, I am sick again, yet again, for the bajillionth time. Three, no one's watching this, thank God, because they're gonna be like, she is unhinged as hell right now. Three, I
If you see
went,
one person, it's me.
my lips are super chapped, beyond chapped. And I can't find my chapstick because you know what I did the other day? I went out to my car and I was like, I can't find anything. Let me dump my entire purse in the passenger seat. And that's what I did. And then I did not clean it up. And then I put other stuff on top of it. So on my drive home in the dark, I was trying to shift things to look for the chapstick. And of course, I couldn't find it because why would I? I'm in the dark and also it's under a bunch of other stuff. I couldn't find it. And I was like, man, my lips are so chapped. I'm going to just go get there. I have something in the bathroom. I'll just grab that. It was Nivea Blackberry. Thus the color. Apparently. And all off my glass. I'm a disaster. Okay. Thank God nobody's here to watch it. Anyway, so that's why I'm looking like a clown. There's literally a TikTok of a woman who does like her entire TikTok like this. She's like, I was at the store and everybody was just being so nice to me. And my lips were really chapped. So I put on my Burt's Bees and I just got it all over there. And everyone's like looking at me and smiling, and I'm just smiling back, and a man holds the door for me, and I'm just feeling like I'm somebody really special. And then she removes her hand and her Burt's Bees was tinted. And it was all up over her mouth down below it. And she looked and said, that's what I feel like I look like right now. Okay. That's me right now. Where everybody at?
Yeah, I'm
Where y'all at?
posting again because I don't know what's going on.
Where y'all at? Anyway, well, let's go ahead and get started. Can't wait, you know, we can't wait on maybe people.
Someone will watch it eventually.
Okay. They will. They will because we consistently do get views on our live streams after the fact, which I think is just like a really impressive fact about us.
It's because we're fantastic.
We are. Okay, so Takeerah just brought up something. Let me preface before I just jump into it. She was like, we should mention the comments from the previous week, you know, in case there's anything good in there, because sometimes we get a little nugget of information. And now since we have 2 viewers, one of them is me. I'm just kidding. I moved off that screen, so it can't be. And I'm sorry I'm looking like the Joker, y'all. But there's a story. Just go listen to the beginning of the video. I just look so unhinged. This is not my color. I mean, look. Okay. I look I just like I don't know. I look like someone's crazy old teacher. Okay. So like I would have like this all over my teeth too.
At least you don't look like you should be scared.
Like I should be scared?
No, you should be scared. The username.
Oh. You should be scared. That's a deep cut. That was a deep cut, Takeerah. That's a reference to Tales of the Walking Dead, episode 1 of the only season of it, apparently, that we're ever getting.
Yeah.
It had Terry Crews in it, so it was bomb. You should probably watch it if you haven't seen it, because Terry Crews is the man. All right, so we got a new sub last week, and so that was our comment, was new subby, and hey there, friend, we love you. I don't know you, but we love you.
Thank you.
And you watched Found. So one, thank you for subscribing. Mentioning that, look, subscribe to my channel, will ya? Please. I beg of you. like this video. I beg of you. I don't care about the notification bell, but just go ahead and click it if you're doing all that other stuff anyway. Literally, the only content I'm putting out right now is this video once a week because I'm a busy woman. But I'm going to get back to regular stuff. I've got some holiday stuff coming up, you know? So keep an eye out for that if I can get it edited in time, because I definitely didn't get the Halloween stuff edited in time. And by the way, I need to change out these lights. Because, I mean, Halloween is life, but who do I think I am? I need something a little more jolly, you know? Okay. All right. And here I am. I'm like, Takeerah, my throat hurts. Takeerah, I'm losing my voice. And then I'm screaming in the car on the phone with you. I'm not screaming at her, mind you. I just am a very emphatic person when I speak. So I was just yelling on the phone about something I was really angry about. And I won't mention it here, but I was very angry and I was very loud. And my throat is now worse. So there's that. I do look like you should be scared.
No,
I do. I've got the red hair and everything. If I had a collection of men's watches, there would be no difference. Oh, these are just my tokens from my victims. Hi, Chanessa. Glad you could join us. Please make me stop. Just make me stop. Okay. I don't know what happened last night, y'all, but I was live tweeting and I was getting no traction. I was getting zero traction. Did someone like ban me?
I don't.
I don't know. I felt like the at NBC Found account last night. Because why is that still not a thing? What happened there?
I feel like a lot more people are live tweeting now, and our stuff is kind of getting more lost. And
that's probably true. I even added Bill Kelly.
Me too. Yeah.
And he did not at me back. He was atting y'all back. I saw him. Yeah, Bill Kelly was all up in your replies. What'd you do, Chanessa? What'd you do to him?
The funniest thing is when Bill Kelly was like, hold up, wait a minute. What do you mean the principal's giving you the ick? You said that the captain gave you the ick.
I know, he was offended. I think he's in love with Chanessa.
He's like, no, I need to be the most hated person on the show, okay?
He wants your attention, Chanessa. He craves it. Anyway, he's been good. Okay. All right. So we're not here to talk about why I look like a serial killer or Bill Kelly's tweets. That's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about the 10th episode of the first season of NBC's new hit television show, Found. Missing while indoctrinated. So we finally get the callbacks we have been just waiting for. This goes all the way back to episode 4, which I pulled up because I was like, I'm not going to remember the name of it. Missing while upon. Look at that. I forgot it already. Janessa said he said, I thought you were cheating on me and I died. He did say that. That is in Janessa's tweets. Bill Kelly was all up in him last night. Love him. Yeah, so we go back to Missing While Upon. So really quickly, I do want to mention that both of the episodes were written by Zoe Marshall, which offered the continuity between the two storylines. So great. The first one, episode 4, was directed by Afe Rivera. But this one was directed by, and we talked a little bit about her last week, Miss Keisha Sharp of Girlfriends fame. That's right. Kelsey Grammer's hit television show, Girlfriends. Explain that to me. You can't. You can't. Why was it Kelsey Grammer? I don't know. Nobody does know. He knew a hit when he saw it. And he helped fund it. Would be my guess. But anyway, loved that show. Did not go back and watch it, even though I said I would, because I don't have any time. But I would have liked to. It's still on my list. Still on my list. There was actually, so they did, okay, this is totally off topic. I've lost my mind. I'm as unhinged as Gabi Mosely. So there was an episode of Girlfriends that talked about a very sensitive topic that was big in the 90s, STD wise. I'm not gonna say any more. I don't want to get like, a slap on the wrist here. But 3 letters. And actually that was like, that gave me a lot of information on it. It was like a very good episode. Like one of their friends is positive, and then there's a whole thing about like sharing dishes, and they talk about like all of this stuff. And it was actually very informative for someone who went to public school, so I didn't receive a super great education in terms of stuff like that. So Lois, Miss Lois is here.
Lois.
Hello, Lois. All right, so let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. I did it. It's fine. Everybody's okay. Disney, don't come after me. So episode 4 is what this ties back to. Episode 4 had to do with a young boy who was missing named Matthew Robinson. Gabi went and talked to Matthew's friend, Tony Edwards. And Tony Edwards was older than Matthew. He was 16. Long story short, they do indeed find Matthew, but in the process of finding him, they are discovered that they're saving this kid out of the trafficking ring, and the traffickers end up shooting Tony. He ends up in a coma, and he has been in a coma for 6 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, since episode 4, we have been worried about what's going on with Tony. About 2 episodes ago, we also received a red ribbon that we had no reference to. And we were like, what is that about? The red ribbon came back this episode too. So there was a lot coming back. All right. Now, Takeerah did double duty this week because yours truly is just, I don't know where I am ever. I have a lot going on. December is my busiest month at work, so I apologize. But Takeerah did double duty and has been researching her butt off so that she could talk about this episode. So go ahead, lay it on us, Takeerah. Where do you want us to
go? So the way my notes are is just kind of me jotting down scene by scene, like what my thoughts were during this
well, we don't need to do all that.
Yeah. So I guess I should have kind of... Okay. So...
Well, what storyline do you want to talk about first? Because that's usually what we do.
I'm going to skip all the way down to my little note that says just about every scene that Zeke's face was in this episode was so freaking impactful.
It was.
I was like, what is so much happened overall in this episode. Like my brain keeps jumping all over the place just because of how much.
Okay, well let's hone in on Zeke. Let's hone in on Zeke. So let's talk about Zeke. Okay. So Lacey's still spending a lot of time with Zeke.
A lot of time.
I saw someone, Chanessa, you responded to someone on Twitter because they were like, are they sleeping together or is she just still staying over there because she's afraid of Sir? And you were like, why not both?
Right.
And I was like, why are all these haters trying to talk? Y'all were so quick to jump on Don and Zeke.
Right.
And that was like, you can't see any other ship.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. This is the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Jump aboard or walk the plank, I guess, is the metaphor I'm going to go with. Because of the ship. Anyway. That's horrible. Oh, Zacy, so cute.
Janessa, in my notes it says hashtag Team Zacy and Tabby.
Tabby. Okay. So Lacey's still over at Zeke's. So there's a lot of that banter going on, and
Mm-hmm.
they're together when they do the little welcome home at the end. Hey, Jermaine.
Oh, it says
I
Jermaine.
know it says Jermaine, aka Walking Dead Eternal. Hello. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, so they're together when they do the little welcome home shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the scene at the end, which I was kind of like, Lacey, can you like slow your roll a little bit? Because like you don't live there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your house. And she's like, come on in. Come on in.
So I don't
Father that he has a rough time with.
right.
I was like,
I
what
think
is
that
happening?
I think she's not great with uncomfortable silence.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
Um, and at the same time, she wants him. She wants people to love him. You know what I mean? Like she wants him to have.
Which I get. He's a lovable guy and she really
Mhm.
likes him. And so you want other people to see that too. But, you know, family drama
Yeah.
that's his own animal. And do you really want to get all up in that? But anyway, maybe she didn't really know. So that was my other thing is like, does he really talk about his dad? Because he hasn't really talked a ton about his dad.
Right.
He's talked about his mom. We've overheard his mom on the call in previous episodes. So, and we know that his family has money.
Mm-hmm.
These are all things that we know. So his family's well-to-do. He was taken when he was a kid. He's agoraphobic. He's still in touch with his mom. And his grandfather just passed. Was that who it was that had passed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Taken
got a
from
couple.
Bennett Avenue or Bennett Street.
Okay. So we've gotten a little bit of his story, but we don't have the full picture. So I thought this was really insightful because it gave us this dynamic. It did solidify that dynamic with his dad and showed us
Mm-hmm.
been a rough time there. But then we also got this really nice moment of they shake hands. So they're clearly coming to some sort of they're coming to like a bridge, right? They're going to be able to cross some of this and kind of move past it. I hope. I hope this is
So
like an olive branch.
the storylines definitely crossed, in my opinion, with the episode because he's watching this son blame Gabi and blame his dad and be angry and all this stuff because of what he was going through. And I think it reflected, he felt like he was watching him treat his dad badly after he returned.
Well, we've talked a lot about that. There would be a lot of animosity because we said the same thing with Gabi,
Mm-hmm.
right? When she came back and her dad was drinking, I think it would be hard to not feel like you didn't look hard enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there would be some of that animosity there, even though you probably don't want it there. It might kind of live in the back of your mind. So I think that really makes sense. I thought this was a really nice piece to tack on because I wasn't expecting any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the episode felt very full on its own anyway. So to add on another element of another character story. So we got development on Zeke's story. We got development on Margaret's story, which was like huge, even though it was like one line.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really get much development for Dawn.
Yeah, no.
And we got development for Gabi and Sir. Obviously, some pretty big development there. And then obviously the story, the wraparound story that we got. So, all right. So that kind of wraps up Zeke. So where do you want to go from here?
Just to truly wrap up Zeke, remember he named the people they were looking for Bennett because that was a street.
Yes.
And he apparently is bankrolling this operation.
Oh, well, we knew that. That's been mentioned. That's been mentioned a couple times.
I mean, I knew certain aspects of him giving money here and there, but now I'm starting to get the feeling that it like there would be no.
There wouldn't be.
Yeah.
There's something that's said. It's mentioned in the first episode, but there's something said in a later episode that made me feel like he was the like predominant benefactor, and that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely the case.
And I wrote down one more thing, and I just was like, I don't know if it was just me, but to me, when his father walked in, it was like, oh, there's a girl. Like, there's a girl in
I
here.
think it would be shocking. I think it would be shocking. If you had an agoraphobic son who would not leave his house, I think it would be really shocking.
Yeah.
If he like all of a sudden had a girl over, you'd be like, who is this? and she's like acting like his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, it's so nice to meet you. Would you like to come inside? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was giving off girlfriend vibes for sure. Hi Marcus.
Hi, Marcus.
Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, so it Janessa says Lacey says shout out to Zeke and his trust fund. So we're feeling wrapped up on Zeke. Unless anybody else wants to mention anything, please go ahead and mention it in the chat if there's anything else that you'd like to say. Okay, where now?
Okay, so real quick, I'm so proud of Margaret. I'm just so proud of her.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's just talk about that really quickly because it's like a one-off line.
Yeah.
But I think Lacey says like, "Oh, aren't you supposed to be at the bus station?" Someone asks, and she says, "Well, per the advice of my therapist, I'm going in 1 hour later today." Which, okay, the therapist redeemed herself. Thank you, therapist, for giving her a smaller obstacle to tackle. Yeah. Great work. And Margaret's following through on it, which is such a big deal.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm so proud of her character in this moment. It's like, yes, you've got it. You're moving forward. Thank you. Because we're just like backpedaling with this stuff with her daughter.
Which is why, to me, this is so huge. Like, I feel like this is one of the biggest hurdles that she'll have to, like, that initial, like, not getting there at the same time. Like, to me, that would be, like, the biggest initial thing that you need to get over.
Well, and it's going to get worse, right?
Yeah.
Because it's obviously not going to stay an hour.
Right.
It's going to increase over time. So this is going to be a harder and harder thing for her to work through. But we'll see where it goes and what happens.
Absolutely. I'm excited for her.
Me too. Okay. So do you want to just really briefly talk about the stuff with Tony?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Tony, as we know, was in the coma. He comes out of the coma and then promptly goes missing. It's not how comas work. But
right.
It's fine. I've been in one. It's not how it works. It's not how it works at all. You don't just wake up and you're like, peace. You're like under a lock and key. But it's fine. Story, right? Gotta tell the story. So Tony disappears. And the whole episode is about trying to like crack this trafficking ring, which we don't really have much information on at the beginning of this episode. Anyway, spoiler alert. It's the principal.
So many words that I can't say.
See it coming because she's so something about her. Like, did that actress just go into this like, I'm gonna be the evilest person from the first from the first second I'm on screen, I'm gonna be evil. It's like the only way she could have made it more obvious is if she was like like what are you doing? I don't know, something about the vibe was just not It wasn't sneaky. It was
No.
not sneaky. Because everyone is like, it's the principal.
Yeah, everybody's like,
something's
what
wrong with
is
her.
wrong with this lady?
She seems off in some way. She's too evil. Like they could have like given her like straight eyebrows. Like it was too much. It was way too much. Yeah, it was a lot. So turns out it was the principal. Now, did I miss something? Because at the end she's like, I'm not going down for this alone.
No, yeah.
And one I was like, nobody asked you to. One, no one said you have to go down for this alone. Take down everybody. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then did we see who else she took down, or is this still going to continue on?
The kid that like recruited Tony. She told on him.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
He isn't the problem.
Exactly.
Who's your boss? That's
Exactly.
who's your boss?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. I have a feeling this might come back again later.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like
about it.
Yeah.
It's not 100% resolved to me. Finn, thank you, Finn. This also the other person who was acting so shady. So shady. I just choked. I just choked so hard. Yes, these are texts, but they're not between us. Are you okay? Are you evil?
Well, that might be where you found it, but I wasn't talking to him.
I know. I was like, "Are you are you
okay.
evil? Are you evil now?" It seems like it. It was it was a weird vibe. The whole school had a weird vibe, but that's why I said I was like, the whole school is the one drinking the Kool-Aid. These kids are off.
I was like,
something is off.
I was like, they walked into like a cult or the village of the damned or something. What is happening?
She's like, my truancy record is so low. The truancy record, like, what is going on? You could not be more evil. Everything you're saying is somehow evil, and you're saying like good things, but they're evil. It was so weird. It was so weird. Also, Jermaine, I love that you said it's the principle of the whole thing, and I didn't even get that joke until just now. Thank you. Excellent wordplay, sir. I'm so dumb. Okay, moving on. Okay. All right. We're coming down to it. Okay, I want you guys, if you have anything that you want us to touch on, please mention it in the chat. Like I said, I'm still like very sick. So I know I don't sound like it. This is the face I put on for you because I love you. But I'm done. So I finished many hours at work and then practiced singing. And then now I'm here talking. So if you want to, and we're going to wrap it up shortly here. But I wanted to go into the Sir and Gabi thing.
Okay,
There's
good.
a lot to unpack there.
So let me say these couple things about Gabi, because there were just a couple things I wrote down.
Okay.
It super annoyed me how everyone was like, you let him get shot.
Yeah, that was weird.
What?
What was the mom? The mom was just one phenomenal acting because I wanted to punch you in your face. So I knew
immediately.
I knew it was good. But yeah, it was super weird. I get it, like you're culpable because you created this situation. And again, this does play into the whole thing that we've talked about many times before, that like Gabi is unhinged. And also, I would be super pissed if this is the way that anyone was handling any investigation, because it is improper procedure and it is against so many laws and would make so many pieces of evidence inadmissible in court, which is where it's important because we have to be able to prosecute them in order for anything to actually happen. But It's TV. It's TV magic, so it's fine. Um, but yeah, that was like I was like, what is happening?
Okay. And then there's just a scene, and I don't know what the technical name for it is, but something happened and Gabby stopped and she started to turn her head. And when her head got to wherever she was looking at, she was in the past, turning her head.
So that's a really great transition.
Okay. I was like, oh,
It's a
that
great
was
scene transition.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
good cinematography when you can pull off stuff like that.
that was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, Jermaine says I always wanted to know who Annie was. Now it makes sense. So,
There's a
Takeerah,
lot to unpack with
who's
this.
Annie? Tell
So
us, who is Annie?
Annie is the person that we heard episodes earlier outside, um saying that she was going to go get help for Annie, for Gabby, who now we saw in the first time we saw her in this episode had a red ribbon in her hair. So I don't know if we want to go deep into who she was right now, but we find out that was that her graduation yearbook that Gabby looked at?
I'm not sure. There were several years
So
worth
the
that she had pulled
first
out.
one, okay, the first one was 2002 that she pulled out, and that was hers. And then the second one was 2000, and that was Annie's.
I'm guessing. Now again, I don't know. Why would you own the 2000 yearbook for a school
Yeah.
intended if you were not there in 2000? I'm not saying that we don't know like exactly. Well, Gabby was 16 when she was taken. So if she was a junior at 16,
Mm-hmm.
then yes, that could have worked.
Right. Okay. So
Stephanie Annie Lopez, I think it was her name in the yearbook. It was, yeah, Annie was like a nickname.
I have some screenshots because it's just really crazy. We went from we need to know who Annie is, we're concerned about where she is, was she killed, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Twitter has now exploded and everyone thinks Annie's an accomplice. And as I watched it my second way through, I felt the same way.
Mm-hmm. It's immediately what I felt. It's immediately what I felt. Now I know everybody was like, Annie's been killed. He's a killer. I was just like, no. I think the correlation between her discovering that Annie was at the school was her realizing that it didn't only have to be Sir who could traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like Annie was like, I don't know, maybe was the one who had picked out Gabby, or
Oh.
I don't know, had lured her somewhere somehow,
Yeah, my
or had fed
question.
him information.
Mm-hmm. My
I don't
question
know.
was like, so who is Annie to him really if she's the accomplice that's helping him do this?
I don't know. That I don't know. But
But
again,
also,
it could be like this Finn kid. Like you could have just roped her in. She wasn't what he wanted. He wanted something else because he wanted someone who looked like the old neighbor or
mm-hmm.
whatever. And Annie just didn't do it for him or whatever. And then, then she was like, well, I'll help you find somebody.
I did dig in the crates of Google.
Oh, okay.
And I read an article and they were saying um, some comments Gabby made to Sir in previous episodes about things he said the first time they met makes them think that she was actually his student directly.
Who? Gabby?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was made very clear.
I felt like maybe, he was a teacher at the school, but didn't
Well,
actually.
but she says you were my teacher.
Oh, she said my teacher?
I thought she said you were my teacher.
Okay. Oh yeah, in this episode she did. Like,
Yes.
but I guess earlier, because someone said, I don't know
Oh,
if
I didn't.
someone,
No, I didn't put that together until this episode.
it was like before we actually saw it on the TV. Somebody on Twitter was like, "See, he was her teacher." So I was trying to figure out like, does someone
Well,
hint
maybe they
at
just
something?
figured because he's really into literature.
Mm-hmm.
He had to be of a higher education. Maybe they just assumed he was a teacher. Janessa says the theories are all similar that Sir took Annie, successfully brainwashed her, and released her back to life in the real world, and then turned his attention to Gabi, where she was harder to turn.
Okay, here's why I'm not 100% with that theory. It's probably because of all the true crime that I watch. Um, I'm not saying every criminal is the same, but in cases, especially when they tend to take specific aged, specific sex children, they won't go from like a white one to a black one, if that makes sense.
Not always, but sometimes it depends on if it's like opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at someone like Ariel Castro. He wanted someone younger. Yeah, that was kind of like his thing was like younger girls, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those girls were taken out of opportunity.
Right.
I
Which
don't
is
know
how he
why.
got
Why is
one
he the
that
one I keep
wasn't
going
young.
to? But anyway, he's the one I keep bringing up. There are tons of other kidnapping stories, but that's the one I'm like stuck on for some reason.
But even
Um,
him, he wanted like a specific.
he did, but he took the girls out of opportunity. It was
Mm-hmm.
because they were friends with his daughters.
That's
All of those
true.
girls
Yeah.
knew his daughters in some way. That's how he ended up with the girls that he had.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
okay,
then even.
Jermaine. Hold
Oh,
on, hold
sorry.
on one second. Jermaine says I thought Annie wrote a note asking that she hid in one of Gabby's books asking for help. So that is true. She did. So the theory is that she was kidnapped and held for a certain period of time because she wrote the number of days or whatever on her note.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
People think that was a plant.
I mean, I don't know. It could have been.
Yeah.
And then Shanessa said there's been lots of people assuming he was a teacher or counselor or some sort of authority figure in her life, which I mean, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really trying to suss out like who he is. I guess I assumed he didn't know her, but as we know from true crime, that is extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
It's almost always someone you know.
I feel like them introducing us to this old neighbor that reminds us so much of Gabby. I feel like that's what solidified for me that he wanted a certain type of girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, sure. And
Maybe
I'm not
Annie was like a test run.
that's what I'm
That
saying. It could have
sounds
been opportunity.
horrible. Yeah.
It could have been opportunity. I mean, it could be that he's honing his craft because often
Mm-hmm.
they do that. So we just don't know until we get more information. I don't know. Something about the thing with Annie just doesn't seem right.
Mm-hmm.
Something seemed off about it. It seemed off that she's like, I'll go get help. I promise. Like something about it didn't, it seemed disingenuous.
Can I read these? I want to read
Yeah,
these.
go ahead, read them.
She couldn't join us because she's working. Because I was like, please come join us for this conversation. Her name is Jamaican Douglas.
Okay.
She was live tweeting. She said, I don't think Sir killed Annie. I think she's an accomplice. The way she reemerges without police is just very suspect. Phone or no phone, she had to walk far to stumble on that cabin and pass several homes where she could have gotten help. She was like, and we know from a previous episode, you have to come off the road, walk past a whole reservation to get to that cabin where there are also businesses and a police station. So
Yeah.
why would you come back with nothing?
Yeah, something about it was, it seemed like a test.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of like with the kitten. Like, where did the random kitten come from? I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I live in the woods. Like, there's not random kittens out here. There can be when you're near populated areas, but
Yeah.
cats like that are domesticated.
Mm-hmm.
So unless someone's ditching their cat out in the woods, they're not just going to be kittens all over the place. And then Shanessa said, also, sir was way too calm for a knock on the door.
Wait, speaking of the knock on the door, one of my notes was, did he pick up the same skillet that he got bashed in the head with months later?
Maybe. Poetic justice. Those are really, yeah. Hi! Suez Contours. Okay, one, you're like never able to join us live. This is so fun. Kelsey Grammer is the producer for Girlfriends. He was. He was. Or his production company was. It was something like that. Because I remember when I watched Girlfriends when I was younger, that would always come up. Like on the screen was like executive producer Kelsey Grammer. And I was always like, why? Why this old white dude? It's like a weird choice. Janessa says, as soon as I saw him grab the pan, I screamed. He gave her the idea. 100%. 100%. Jermaine says, sir is Freddy Krueger for sure. No doubt about that. Comparable.
Yeah. Those faces he was making in this episode, I'm like, this guy's freaky.
He was really weirding me out in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
He was really weirding me out. So yeah, there was the teacher thing. I didn't guess it, so it really caught me off guard.
Me too.
It really caught me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Annie vibes I got were, it didn't add up. Didn't add up to me.
I was disappointed in Annie. I was like, not that I wanted her to be murdered. I was hoping that Gabi would actually like find out that she escaped and left.
Well, I think there's going to be
name.
more to this story.
Yeah.
Because now she knows her actual name.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we going to go from here?
Right.
Because Gabi's like, I'm going to find out where you buried her. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's buried anywhere. That bee is alive and kicking somewhere.
So I know this is going to sound so weird to hear me say this, but it's often something, and I'm sorry to make Walking Dead references, but that was like my whole life before now. It reminds me of like when people say things about Negan and honesty. Like, I really don't think he would lie to her about killing somebody.
Well, he's not really known as a liar.
Right.
Is he? Like, he's like braggadocious and like an a-hole, but like liar isn't really one of the things I would use to describe him.
Right.
It's not what comes top of mind. Like abrasive, like monster, like
Mm-hmm.
like those are all, but he didn't often lie.
And what,
because he got off on telling you the truth.
The truth, exactly.
Of what horrible things he was doing.
And so, like, I just feel like Sir is a lot of things, but he's just not really a liar. It's not when it comes to Gabi, at least.
No, I mean he will avoid telling the truth.
Yeah,
but it's not like he'll deny it. He doesn't deny it if you can discover it, but it's almost like he wants you to be able to discover it on your own, because if you can't, then you're not smart enough and you're not his equal and he's not interested.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what he wants. Janessa says, so I used to teach high school English. So that was always a theory I had. He gives off English teacher vibes, but having it confirmed was still a hard pill to swallow. It really was. It really, really was. Jermaine,
I was very shocked.
Jermaine says, Gabi is showing no mercy at the end of this episode. I was cheering for Gabi when she was confronting Sir. Well, good. As well you should be. As well you should be. Janessa says, didn't he literally lie about her asking for a friend and said her dad wasn't looking for her?
He did, but like when she realized he was lying, he didn't go, no, I wasn't lying. He wanted it to be known that he was lying.
Yeah, he wants to be clever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, I don't know. Isn't that always what they want?
Like, I 100% understand what you're saying, Janessa. Like, how can I put it into words properly what I'm trying to say? Like, in those cases, he was just trying to mess with her, like really truly trying to mess with her, and he knew she was going to figure out the truth. And when she did, he was like, so, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's the testing of her intelligence and her
right.
ability to like problem solve, right? Because that's what he's looking for. He's looking for someone that he deems on his level.
Mm-hmm.
And as of because Gabi got away, it's the only reason that she maintains being on the pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Had she stayed with him, he eventually would have grown weary of her
Yeah.
and she wouldn't have been it. But because she got away, now she's up on that pedestal forever.
Mm-hmm.
And now she does have a career where she has to problem solve. And so for him, there's something about that really does it for him, as I said
Mm-hmm.
earlier. All right. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about? Because we're going to wrap it up here. I said I wanted to go for about 45 minutes tonight. So we're cutting it a little bit shy, but my throat is just really killing me right now.
Do you
So
guys want me to read the synopsis for Missing While Interracial?
I don't want you to.
Okay.
I don't want you to. Sorry. I didn't watch any preview. I'm trying to get back to my I don't want to know anything going in.
Okay.
So next week's episode is the 11th episode. We are still indeed getting an episode next week. It is Missing While Interracial, and so that airs on the 12th. Now, we were told by our friend Mitchell, who has come in clutch recently with the information. Go ahead, Jermaine, make a shout out. You type it away and I will read it. So our friend Mitchell said that next Tuesday is the last episode of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then January 9th and 16th, 2024, the last of the season.
Mm-hmm.
What a weird break.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
I was like, why are we waiting
So
3 weeks for
unusual.
2 episodes?
It's really unusual, but okay. Yeah, so this next week, and then we will take a hiatus as well. During that, we'll do those last 2 episodes, and then we will do the fun idea of our playlist per character. We'll do that. We'll do that as an episode. We'll go live for that too. And then I will be back to my usual content, which if you're into horror, in any way, shape, or form, cheesy or not, you might want to check out. And so I will have some of that content up. I'm not sure what else I'm going to do after that, because we'll have a big break for Found then, because it's not even filmed. Season 2, this is going to be like a year from now. So we'll have a big break from that for a while. I know. Don't get sad. Don't get sad. We'll come up with other stuff to do. It's okay. All right. Well, Jermaine, lay that shout out on me. I'll read it out, brother. Oh, just so you all know. I don't know. Maybe you'll be interested in this. Maybe not. It's okay if you're not. Sunday evening. No, I'm sorry. It's not Sunday evening. It's Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. The podcast that I work for, Squawking Dead, who covers predominantly Walking Dead material, will be doing a benefit for a fan artist who does incredible artwork. I'm sure if he were on his feet, he would do stuff for Found if we asked him to, because he does great work for many hit television shows. But he is currently battling cancer. And so we're doing a benefit for him. It's like a charity benefit. It'll be live on YouTube, on Squawking Dead's channel, which I believe is linked below. So feel free to check that out. There's a lot of unusual stuff that is going to be like raffled off. And when I say unusual stuff, I mean there's some wild stuff in there. Now, a lot of it has to do with Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead or like any of the spinoffs. But there's actually I'm going to go ahead and share this. This is just a really weird piece. There's some Jason Lee photography prints.
Okay.
Donated by Garrett Dillahunt.
Oh.
So I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to say anything else. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. And so there's just like some really cool, unusual stuff included. So you should check it out. There's some really cool options. And some of it is like, doesn't have to be Walking Dead related. So check it out if you're around, if you're free and you're like, I don't have anything better to do and I've got $10 to spare. Maybe you want to play a couple games. There will be panelists, and I can't make any promises, but there might be someone special who's not me, who's like way higher tier than I am, who might be, which could be exciting. Jermaine says I can't. It won't let me for some reason. Are you using swear words? Because I know it blocks that sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
It blocks swear words sometimes. I don't know if that's where it is. My messages won't come through. I don't know. Do you want to, you can message me on, you can DM me on Instagram really quickly if you want, but you got to go fast. If you want to do that.
So, just really quick, Sir going, why are we rehashing the past?
He was mad. He's big mad. He is big mad. Janessa says, I'm very nervous for the cliffhanger they're going to give us next week. Oh, I know.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. As if this wasn't enough in between these two episodes.
I will gleefully watch while Dawn breaks 72 of the 206 bones in your body. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about how Gabi should have whooped that principal's ass when she had to.
Oh, I know. That was good. That was good stuff. Is that what you were trying to talk about? Was the live stream on the 10th? Well, thanks, bud. We already did. It's okay. No worries. Okay. Well, then we are going to wrap this up. We love you guys. Thank you for being here. Don't miss us next week. Same time, same place. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday evening to discuss the 11th episode of NBC's new hit television show, Found, also known as Missing While Interracial. So we will discuss that then. And we're looking forward to it. And we love you guys. And thank you so much for being here. And make sure you comment and you like this video and you subscribe to this channel. I love you so much. Bye.